I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, good evening. There's no Christopher. And so he's been out in doing some Delaware County research there. I guess what we'll call it for now. So for now, he's let this video turn over to the women of the night, and we're going to bring some interesting topics to everybody. Jamie Lynn, Steve Sumner's ex-wife, will be joining us, kind of telling us her side of the story and how it's been done. Since nobody else has given her the opportunity to speak, we will let her say it out loud. We'll also have Casey Jackson on tonight. She'll be commenting and giving us some of her thought process to what has happened here, where the balls have been dropped. And then she owns a page called Say It Out Loud. And then we will also have Bree, who will be coming on, and she'll be giving us her commentary. So you'll have some young people coming on. You'll have some people in the middle of the generations, and then you'll have some older generations coming on. So we're going to see a great mix of people tonight. We're going to say it out loud. We do know that a lot of people have been affected through either sexual assault, childs have been victimized. And so now we're going to see where victims can speak safely, they can say it out loud, and they can be heard and no longer be crucified for actually getting help. So we are all here tonight because Jamie Lynn has to sleep with one eye open because the politicians in Madison County have failed her miserably. So let's bring them all on. At the end of the show, when everybody's done, if we have time, I'll give you some updates for the Madison County politics. So, but for now, you'll see Jamie Lynn, you'll see Bree here, and then Casey Jackson whenever she comes on. So do we want to start with a video first? Is that what we want to start with?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see who. Go ahead.
In August 2020, I walked in on my ex-husband who was molesting one of our daughters. My name's Jamie, and I'm the ex-wife of Steve and Craig Sumner, who is now on the run. He has 18 counts of child molest, level 1 child molest, and a level 3 rape. Those are included in the 18. Steve
They're playing it on there.
Political one. He was a county councilman at the time, and he was also a Baptist pastor. That night, I ran it over to our neighbors, who are also his parents, for help. My daughter ended up hiding in their house on the phone with 911. While his dad threw me in a room and wouldn't let me out, while Steve and his mom looked for my daughter. I still can't to this day get a police report. Was told charges were going to be filed, and I've never seen anything. The effect this has had on myself, my daughters, and my other kids has been horrible. The neighbors harass us on a regular basis, who again are his parents. Steve went on the run too a year ago in April. He's been gone over a year. I'm begging you to share this video. This is just a start. There's many more details. But first off, I'm just begging you to share this with anybody as much as you can. We're trying so hard. We're not getting much help. We have one U.S. Marshal who is the only one looking for him. And we really need help getting this out there to some media outlets or something. My kids and I, we need closure, and we're ready to feel safe again. Thank you.
So how do you feel about your video?
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Yep. Encouraged, hoping we can get it out everywhere.
So, as time has passed, when did this all start?
August 28th of 2020.
And how long did it take them to arrest him once this came out in August?
It was December something when they
So,
arrested him. So, yeah.
several months. So I remember going to county council meetings, and I remember going in August and September, and I believe he was actually sitting at these county council meetings.
Absolutely. I was told that they could not get him off of there, that he had to step down himself.
So now when we won our election in January, it took seat in January, he wasn't showing up for the meetings then. It's like he had quit going.
Right.
So what changed? Is it just that he was arrested in December and that's why he quit going in January? And that's
most likely, but I know between then and when he actually stepped down that they did go, because I watched it live. I knew they were going to try it. What they did was they couldn't just tell him to step down. They made a resolution, and I believe, I can't think of his name, was president at the time.
it would have been Ben Gale.
Yes, it was Ben Gale. And he was at that meeting. He stepped, where Rick Garner usually sits down at that little round table in the front. That's where he was sitting all by himself.
Yeah.
Because I sat there and thought, oh my gosh, if they said those things about me, I would crawl out.
Yeah. So we have another elected official, I think in Ohio, who's in the same situation, and he is attending, and nobody is saying anything about this, what they've done. I can just tell you that if I was a mother, or I'm not going to speak for Cassie, but I'd march my hot little rear end in that thing, and I would be calling them out for everybody. They would have to pull me out with chairs.
That's right. It would be marched all the way in. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would have signs up. I mean, it would have just been
right.
So, how are you feeling? There's just a group of women, Cassie and I. For many of you who don't know, Cassie is an educated nurse practitioner. I know that people are saying that Cassie and I know each other as colleagues. We do not. We have never met in person. We have come together because we're fighting for the same thing, and that is for the people. We have no agenda except we want people and women to be safe.
Yep, we're fighting for truth. A little bit of truth.
Yeah. So
right.
yeah, anybody who believes that Cassie and I have she's her own person and I'm my own person. It just happens to be, maybe the same people pick the same field to go into.
Yep.
So right?
We have got, listen, there's going to be heat, right? We're on different political parties, but I would like to reiterate what you just said, which is that this is not, there are a lot of politics involved in Madison County. Don't get it twisted. But this is about getting justice for children and for you, Jamie. I want to get to, but yes, thank you, Catherine.
And what I've noticed is, it seems to me that we've built a team of women here. There's several. Now, for people who are watching, this is not the only part of the team. It's a pretty good group of women involved.
We have a big team. Yes.
And
may I just shout you guys out? I just want to commend you on the receipts that I've seen as a social justice activist. That group of women and you guys it is the best I've ever seen, ever. You just come so correct, and I appreciate that. And so I think we're going to make big moves with this.
Well, we need to give a huge shout out to Sean Smith, who runs the Madison County Government Accountability page. Now, he has his own career. He is very busy in his career, but he's taken the time out when he can, and he has documented a lot of this, because a lot of the information that's going to come here tonight is from Madison County Accountability. And so I'm not going to, I can't take credit where credit is not due. I have to give him a huge amount of thank yous and applaud for what he has done.
Yep. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
I tag you a lot now. I am tagging you all over the place.
Yeah, he's got a wonderful brain, and he doesn't have any agenda really either. He just wants what's right for the people.
Yes.
And I will say, we're all kind of, I wouldn't say fighting, but we're pushing back. And I think almost everyone's a male. We don't really have many males or females we're pushing back on.
Right.
And so it's interesting to see that, what they have, and then what we have majority of women with just a few men. They have a majority of men with just a few females.
Yep.
So this will be real interesting to see if we can bring justice and if we can bring home Steve Sumner. And here's the biggest thing. And when I say this politely. Steve knows where all those dead bodies are buried.
Oh, does he know where they are buried? If anyone knows, it's him. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. Likely, I speculate, so does his father, who, can I just say, right, Jamie, I don't want to speak for you, but this man continues to harass. I'm talking to you, Daddy Steve. If you guys want me to, I'll pull back now. I know this is live, but I just get so hot about that.
Same. I appreciate that.
Same.
Here's the torture. This is the torture if you're watching. Jamie has to live, and I say has to live next door to her in-laws.
Yeah.
And for any of you that says she has a choice and she doesn't have to, I don't know, for anybody who's out there watching, if you have just been abruptly left with no finances, no resources, and that's the only place you can house your children, you do not have a lot of choices.
That's right.
Yep.
And so she has put up with the intimidation, the bullying. She has no way to push back. And tell us about your night, Jamie, when this all came, when this all evolved and kind of came to a head.
Okay. So you want me to tell you as far as what happened for me walking outside? And okay, so I walked out.
This was a summer night, right? A summer night in August.
Yep. And it was late, but he spent the majority of his time in that barn already. I had actually laid down. I'd had surgery 8 days before that. And I don't even know why. I have no idea what made me get up and walk out there, but I did. I could hear him talking as I got close, and I figured it was to Rick Gardner because he was one of the only ones he talked to like a lot. They talked a lot. But as I opened the door, he was standing there, and my daughter was sitting in the chair in front of him with a Buzzball drink and a cigarette in her hand. And she ran out the door, and he, took the drink, tried to tell me it was his. She called her in there to like talk to her. And I heard him threaten those kids a million times. They were not allowed in that barn. He was doing things he didn't want people to know he was doing. So anyways, I went to try to find her, and I could not get to her. He's chasing, it's like 11:30 going on midnight, and he's chasing us. And I finally I would have called his dad, kind of my protector in years past. And I just called over there and said, I'm on my way over. Please meet me out front. This is an emergency. But on the way over, I did run into Selah, talk to her, and then go on over. And as they met me on the porch, they were like eye to eye. And I started telling them, and they just were looking right through me. And I instantly called 911. Selah had went in. Yep. That's him. Yeah. He's yelling at me right there. Yep. So
wow, that's the actual photo from, I didn't realize that.
Not from that night. No, that's not from that night. But Selah had went in, 911 wanted to talk to her. So she took my phone and went into their house. She went in, she was already in the house. She had already ran in the house. And then 911 wanted to talk to her. So I walked the phone into the house. She met me like where the hallway meets the living room. And I handed her the phone and I spun right around to walk out. And his mom rushed in on me like really fast, got in my face. And I said, "You really want to take me on right now? I mean, these are my kids." And as soon as I got that last word out of my mouth, I felt the back of my left arm over here. Somebody grabbed my arm and basically throw me around the corner into this room. And he's a big guy. He threw me. And I said, as he did, "Please, please, please, I just had surgery and I have an incision from here to here." And he said, "You're not coming to my house to cause trouble." And I said, "I came here for help."
Ooh.
And he shoved me a couple times, squeezed my arm really hard. And I even said something about that. I knew she had to be, their house is small. I knew she had to be hiding somewhere nearby. So I was like to myself, Brian Bell can say what's wrong with her. I wasn't acting out of my mind. I had to hold myself a little bit together. These are my kids. And at this point, I know I'm the only one protecting them. So I'm saying things, though, so 911 can hear me. No one ever bothered to get that tape, though. I'm sure it's gone.
Now, you've requested that tape.
Many times. Yep. I've requested the police report. I've never. So he kept me in there until the police got there, and he let me out. He did. He let me out. But
So conveniently, once he had realized that, when the police were coming, right?
Well, he held me in that room. I know why he held me in that room and why he did that. He did it because, he held me in there.
They were trying to find your daughter.
My ex and his mom were searching for Selah. And I know 911 heard me because they were saying things to her like, "Stay where you're at. They're almost there. She'll be fine. She'll be fine till you get there." That sort of thing.
Right.
So they heard me and they're reassuring her. I didn't know where she was, but I guess she was in the bathtub. So they do not want her to get out to try to help me. And then, when the cops came, I was made to stay by the road while he was allowed down in the yard around her. That was from the start. There were younger cops that showed up first that I did not know. I know a lot of the older ones because I used to work in the prosecutor's office. But Brian Bell pulled up and I saw him like 3 cop cars down. And I was so relieved because I did know him. I don't know him well, but I knew him from working up there. And I said, "Brian." And he looked at me and said, "Hey, blah, blah." He ended up afterwards in their house laughing and making fun of me and didn't bother to take a police report about what had happened.
And may I ask you, Brian Bell, let me just clarify,
he's the evening shift. He was the evening shift supervisor.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
but this was for the county. I want to be clear. And this is
the county.
So the Indiana State Police eventually had to get involved because your ex was a politician. Oh, that night?
Yep.
That's what I thought. What I thought. I just didn't want to miss.
Yep.
So they had to get involved, and they were there. But this is the thing. Your father-in-law, who just had assaulted you and should have been charged with criminal confinement for locking you in that room.
Yep.
He's not a politician. So guess who?
He's a retired police officer.
There it is. There it is, Brian Bell.
Was he a sheriff?
APD.
APD.
Brian Bell, sir, you are the county police. You need to file the report on him. He's not a politician. There's no excuse that you didn't do it.
Yep. Well, the week following, we weren't staying at the house. I don't know if you want me to go to that. I was then lied to by the state police about the fact that they had drawn it up and they were going to file charges against him when they filed the other charges. And I said,
"Can you tell the names? Could we talk about names like Kleppheimer and all that?"
I don't care. They're the ones running the investigation, so I don't know why they couldn't be mentioned.
Well, let's finish this, and then now we've got Brian, and then we're gonna kind of evolve these people as they appear.
Okay.
So this is still the same night that you've had the problem.
Yes.
So as this night escalates, once they get there, what happens?
Well, we were told then, a few minutes later or whatever, that the state police would be coming, and they let me. I mean, I could not leave the side of the road. So they did at that point. Me and Selah walked back over to our house. The other kids were all inside watching out the window. And I was told the state police could come. So honestly, I ended up calling state police post and asking for Keith O'Donnell. And I said, it's like midnight or after at this point. I said, "I'm sure he's not there, but please trust me." I didn't even know he was in charge of it. I had no idea, but I know him. And I I just said, I know he's probably not there, but please trust me. This is an emergency and I need to talk to him. And it was less than a minute. He actually called me back. And so
Oh,
he was running the show. You know what I mean? He was
so let's recap a
orchestrating.
few things. One, you used to work in the prosecutor's office.
Yes.
You would think, I don't know, Cassie, if we worked on the same floor together and you came in through the ER, I'd probably take a little bit more interest in you.
Well, I did
Absolutely.
all the state. That's
I
how I
would do
knew.
it for anybody, but I would have a vested interest in you because I'm like,
Absolutely.
hey, this is
Yep.
one of my coworkers, right?
That's exactly right.
It's
And
not
that is,
just
let
that,
me be
but
clear, that is not special treatment, right?
No.
That is
No.
invested interest. So it's so
Yeah.
what
Maybe have
I
some
just want,
faith in me
yeah,
and believe me, that type of thing. You know what I mean? I don't expect special favors, but he knew me enough
exactly.
that I think he would give, at least
Well,
trust what
I
I
mean,
was saying. But
Okay.
he,
So,
you also went to him in trust as a public
right.
servant. You went to him in trust, not because you felt comfortable and knew him.
I
You
did when I
went to
worked.
him because you thought he was going to take you seriously.
Yes. When I worked at the prosecutor's office, I specifically did all the state police cases, and that's how I knew him because he brought them in every
but
time. You
you
know what I
work
mean?
for
I
the
talked to him a
prosecutor.
lot.
But
Huh?
you work for the prosecutor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
did.
come on.
Yeah.
So we got her that she used to work there. Then we bring in Brian Bell, who was he the first officer to arrive?
No, there was one or two younger ones that arrived that
Okay.
I have no idea who they were.
Okay. And then so he's the senior
I was
supervisor.
relieved to see him because I felt like I knew, at least recognized somebody, you know what I mean?
How do
I
you
don't
feel about that
know
now?
him. And he ended up being the worst. He ended up making me feel so unprotected. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
And
So
laughed at you. I do not know how. First of all, I know that you clarified, which you didn't need to, about, I wasn't out of control. Even if you were, you walked in on some
These are my
very upsetting
kids.
stuff. I wouldn't even,
Yeah.
it wouldn't matter. I would be
Very
wild.
foul.
I'd be wild.
Yeah.
And you still, as a public servant and as a police officer, should not be saying stuff like that. Don't
Yeah.
joke about this.
Right.
Nope.
No, that wasn't funny. No.
So
No.
then you
Mm-mm.
get to O'Donnell. Does he come out that night?
No. So he called me right back and he said, Jamie, I've got a deputy coming from Muncie. You don't know him, but you'll like him. He's a nice guy, whatever. And he said, this is what he said. And at that time, as soon as he said this, I just said, no, 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 till he was done. He said, Steve is going to stay over at his parents', which is right next door tonight. And you and the kids are going to stay at your house. And then
Why
in the morning, we will appoint a detective. And then this next funny part is that I actually said to him, please put Klettheimer on this case. Please put Klettheimer on this case. He said, absolutely. Well, I think Klettheimer lives somewhere out around me, fairly close. I don't know where, but in that area. And he shows up and Selah starts opening. Oh, sorry, my daughter starts opening up to him. And he said, change of plans, we're leaving. So we did leave that night, but his supervisor was fine with him staying next door.
And why did you
Yeah.
guys leave? Why were you guys the ones that had to leave your home?
We left and went to Kids Talk. And after we got through at Kids Talk, they took me to the state police post to be questioned. I was taken back to my van at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
So Stephen wasn't taken to be questioned. He was just allowed to
No,
stay.
I don't know if he was taken to be questioned, but he definitely was not arrested.
And he should have been that night.
Mhm.
That night.
Yep.
So then we move forward. We go through that. We come back. And then when does he end up going to court?
To be
Or
arraigned
jail. Or jail.
Oh, well, not till December.
So from August to December, where does he stay?
4.5 miles up the road from us. And yeah, he was on our road all the time working for the Lykenses. He ended up living a half a mile down the road from us. But
Wow.
Every single
So
place.
the Lykens, let's just talk about them real quick. I know you're trying to be in order, Catherine. Can we just, can you explain to me, are they farmers? What's the family? What do they do?
They are the
there?
richest farmers in Madison County.
Okay. Thank
They
you.
donated the land to Community Hospital Anderson so they could expand their campus.
Wow.
And all this land that they've acquired, well, look at all the political gain they've had. Here, let me give you an example of this, Cassie. So Wes Lykens and his buddy sue the county. They lose like a $190,000 lawsuit. His mother, who's now in her 80s, runs for commissioner. Her first order of business is to make that go away.
That was the whole plan. That was the whole plan too.
So they vote right off the gate. And they're told this is a conflict of interest for her to vote because her son, and it's a Hamilton County judge who cited that
Who's the judge? Who's the judge? Who's the Hamco judge?
I don't know, but he said they had to pay it back. This judge said you have to pay it back. Okay. And so they believe they're bigger than the judges.
Right.
So the commissioners come in and they vote 2-1 because Darlene's the tiebreaker because there's 3, or it would have stayed deadlocked and he would have had to pay it back. And they say he only had to pay $5,000 and split it with his buddy. So we end up paying $2,500 while the taxpayers ended up paying every bit of it.
Wait, whoa.
Okay,
so the point there is that I would like to just, for all the audience viewing right now, let's take it back to what I would like you to remember and continue to focus on, which is Lykens. Yes. This is a big power player family in this whole situation. And since I have been getting to know it, their name comes up all.
Oh, it gets better. It gets better. So Steve resigns finally from his seat, Jamie. There in June after getting paid for not showing up for any of these county council meetings.
Yep.
Because they wanted.
And I've got the bank statement to prove it.
Yes, girl.
Who did they caucus into Steve's seat?
Please tell me not a Lykens.
Diana Lykens.
No.
Yes, Lykens is. Yes.
But hold on.
Let's
back up and then let's go back to why Darlene even ran for commissioner and what the plan was after she got it.
Yep, talk about that.
You want me to say that?
Yep, absolutely.
Say it, girl, out loud.
They talked her. I heard the conversations. They talked her into running. I can't remember. Might have been they did not like Mike Phipps, Mike Gaskell, those people. And I believe it was Phipps that was still in there. I think maybe it was Kelly. I don't know. But they wanted her out. So they knew if they ran a Lykens, they were going to win. Darlene did not want to do it. They begged her, Russ and Steve, begged her, and made the plan that once she got in, she would step down and they would caucus Steve in. And they caucus people in by making them precinct committeemen so they'll vote their way. Ask me how I know. They didn't make me a precinct committeeman when they voted in Diana Lykens.
I mean, come on. Can you guys see this? Like, this is
Cassie. Let me tell you something. So I worked the polls in 2022, and I was over at Frankton Schools. That's their turf. That's their territory. And actually, we should have you come work the polls here in the fall at that specific one, because that's where all the Lykens.
Oh yes, I would love to.
So,
oh boy,
thank you for the invite. Yes.
So I'm sitting there, and Diana Lykens is sitting there. She's campaigning against my opponent. So we're up there. And it's raining, and all of a sudden her brother-in-law, no, it's not her brother-in-law, it's her cousin-in-law shows up. So she looks at him and she says, Bobby, hey.
George's son.
Wes,
yes, it's her cousin.
Is Katherine. Well, he's like, well, hi. And I go, well, hello. And she said, no, Bobby, this is the Katherine.
Yes, if you
and
get
then
the the before your name, Catherine, if the comes before your name, you've made it, girl. And
so then he goes, what? He goes, we're going to kick your ass. And I go, really? We're at the polls, and this is how you talk to a female? No,
this was the year before last?
No,
super classy Lykens.
So that means George,
seems really classy.
That means George Lykens lied to me that day when I worked the polls and I said, I'd appreciate your vote for Katherine Callahan. And he turned around and told me, I don't know her.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know they all knew you that far.
Oh, no, because she has the in front of her name.
They knew who she is.
It's one lie after another. I'm serious.
So
I've never seen so many lies in my life. Yeah. I haven't.
So
well,
I lived with one. This guy has to be 6'3", 6'4". He's a real tall guy. And I didn't realize who he really was. But hey, if you're watching tonight, Bobby, no wonder your wife ran off with I get it. No to you.
There it is. There it's from the Katherine. You heard that, Bobby?
So I mean, and I think, how classy is this? So you know, and Cassie, we want to share a video with you and show you, and you know, because Steve had some best friends. Guess who was one of his best friends?
I mean, please.
Wes Lykens.
I knew.
Okay.
I mean, I was okay. Also,
But
well,
there's
I'll
a
tell you guys that
special-
later. I have some Facebook mutuals that I didn't realize that are involved in this story that I'm friends with, but we'll talk later.
Well, there's a
Of course,
special.
it was the Lykens.
There's a special video that I want to show you now that I want you to watch.
Okay.
Of how his other best friend, Rick Gardner, treats women in public.
Oh my
Okay?
goodness.
Yes, you found it.
And that information.
So this is at one of our council meetings.
Okay.
I understand that.
Okay, then.
Gardner.
What's your question?
I understand that you had to input the information in order to get an ordinance. I understand that. And that information would have been Rob's budget because that was the $43.5 million budget that we were going to be passing. But according to the DLGF, after that adoption hearing, after we adopted a hearing, nothing should have been submitted to the state until those changes were changed in Gateway. That's what we are being told from the DLGF. And that obviously was not done when it was submitted because it wasn't on Gateway that way. And we know from the DLGF that you submitted it the same day as that we passed it at about 1:35 in the afternoon. None of those changes were made. And honestly, I don't think if we hadn't said something on the 31st, I don't know that you guys would have done any changes based upon.
I'm sure that's your narrative.
That's an assumption.
That's an assumption, and I'm really kind of sick of the assumptions. I sat in your spot for 6 years, and I've been now where I'm at 7 years. We haven't had this problem till you showed up.
Well, you know what? If this
We had
council
a
has worked
7
together
year,
as a
we had a
unit to have
7 hour,
meeting,
we had a 7 hour meeting that went into the next.
So this is now. Here's the thing.
Another nurse.
Listen, Cassie, I go to these meetings. I put my thing on a tripod. I video these whole things. You know you're on camera. It's not like it's a secret. And this is how he is talking to an elected councilwoman.
So, okay, a couple things. So entitled and arrogant because, like,
And they
we
keep
need
getting
to,
voted back in.
let me just tell you about his fragile masculinity because he has to reference in his rebuttal and clapback all of the years that he has served. Are you serious, sir? Are you kidding me? Like
The 8 years that he served and still can't do his job
Are
right.
you serious? You sound like the most fragile man I have ever heard in my life. And then you go on to be like, assumptions. Okay. I mean, just so much to unpack there. Maybe I'll do that later because I'm just all over the place right now with you, sir.
We can we have so much material
right?
to share with you. It's not. So now you kind of know some of the
Not the
players
same
and
place.
who Steve
Yeah,
surrounds himself with
first
and who he has. So Jamie, we fast forward to December. What happens in December who bonded him? How did he get out, and did he go to the jail at all?
As I really don't know. I was told his dad bonded him out though.
And who was the bail bondsman who got him? Because you have to have a bondman.
Alice Flowers. Alice
Flowers bonded him.
Why are we talking about these dumb women that want to talk crap to survivors?
I'll tell you why. Because did Alice call you at any given time, or you have interaction with her?
Yes, I did. Sorry, you're not talking to me.
I don't know. Are you talking to me? I called her because I called her.
You call her? Yeah.
Well, I had my divorce attorney had given me a bank statement. And honestly, when she gave it to me, I couldn't get home fast enough because that whole bank statement was month after month after month where he was out of the state more than he was in state. I had a friend at the courthouse check. There was no signed order allowing him to do that. When you're on bond, you're not supposed to do that. No judge had signed an order that he could. And I told Kledheimer, I told prosecutor's office, and I finally called her because I couldn't get anybody else to, and I was actually scared to death. And as soon as I said something to her, she literally yelled at me. I hate to even do it, but she said, He's got to work, doesn't he? I mean, literally just like that. And I hung up. So
wait, can you repeat what she said? You what?
She said, he's got to work, doesn't he?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now,
Yeah, no. So Alice, nobody told me what Alice actually said. So
yeah.
Oh,
I
so
had been
here's his
told.
statements, Cassie. Right here are his statements. Jamie's able to produce this, and the court in Madison, was this court in Madison County?
It was in Tippecanoe. It was, well, the court, no, it was Tippecanoe at that time was the prosecutor's office handling it. That's who I let know that he was.
I cannot. So who are the people who let this go with, like, look at these receipts of he's being out, right? Is that what you're showing me? He's So who is, I mean, first of all, Alice, okay, but like, what about?
That was in 2021. That wasn't a month ago. That was almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2019.
Right.
Let's back up. Let's back up a minute, though. Who was the initial prosecutor and judge on this case?
I don't know who the initial judge. Duh. Hold on, Rodney, and then Judge Childers. Judge Childers.
No, Norick.
No. Childers took over Norick's court while he's
okay.
on
Good.
leave.
I just didn't know if I didn't even know if Norick had touched it at all.
Norick recused himself immediately.
Okay, because apparently he has a little bit of a brain. Yes.
Oh, he does.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Gosh, thank you, Judge Norick.
Yeah, so he said absolutely not. So Cummings, the prosecutor, and Judge Childers had this.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know all about Childers. I know about that one.
Yeah.
And they let it go. They let him bond for $5,000.
Yep. A DUI bond.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, this is what I wanted to ask you guys. I'm so glad I remembered. You prompted me. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, so about. What did you just say? Remind me what you just said. I'm sorry.
$5,000 is what they bonded him on. And it was like.
Right. And so they were mitigating. Okay, I forgot. I lost it. I'll get it.
So what happened is they bonded him on $5,000, and he didn't even go inside of a jail.
I doubt it.
Okay. So
I don't know. I can't say that I know when he bonded and stuff for
here's
sure.
Here's how I know politics.
I doubt that he did.
If there's a conflict of interest, you probably should be recusing yourself.
They let him turn himself in. They let him turn himself in. And I said, Kledheimer told me that. And I said, why? He said, Jamie, we're not storming that church. I said, it's not even a church. That's what he said.
Oh, okay.
The church that the pedophile was a pastor.
So basically, because
the cult.
Go ahead, Brianna. What?
Sorry, but
I just said the church that the pedophile was a pastor at. Like, you're not going to storm the church that the pedophile led.
And also, what the F does the profession have to do with anything? That's like saying, well, we're not going to storm the preschool, where we're not going to storm the school because it was a teacher. Like, are you kidding me? Just because it was a church? Are you, like, who are we not trying to offend?
He got more respect to every bit of this than any of us have. He got, you know what, honestly, that just dawned on me. This is crazy.
Treated like a god through the whole thing.
Bro. This is honestly kind of crazy. After almost 4 years, I just realized, I just said that out loud. I just said it out loud. He literally got more respect through all of this than any of us did.
And it didn't stop with our prosecutor. It was prosecutors. There were several that knew he was a flight risk.
Yeah.
And just like they posted in Madison County Government Accountability in August of 23, prosecutors let accused child molester flee the state.
Yep.
He
had 220,000 free flying miles. I told them that too.
I got it back. Can I talk or no? Am I?
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose it again. Don't lose it. It's a lot again. I'm so sorry. It's my own stuff this late at night. I will get it back. Sorry.
Say it out loud.
I like have it, and then I'm like, I get it, and I forget. Okay, go on.
So here we are. They post a $5,000 bond. However, there's other people who are being convicted at the same time. Where's the justice for Jamie?
And the respect, really, because that's where you can see all the corruption start to develop. Like, even from the documentation that Jamie sent that I've seen, that you guys have seen, you can feel a shift in how these professional police and service members are responding to her. It is sickening. It's almost palpable. You know,
it's almost intentional. how they
Right.
Oh, you can hear it. I'm not even allowed to talk to the Tippecanoe prosecutor. The victim advocates, I've had 2, and I'm not kidding you. I contacted a Madison County victim advocate that I used to work with and said, I don't know how to ask this, but what is a victim advocate? I mean, I've never been through anything like this. What are they supposed to do for us? I mean, because it was so overboard horrible. And one of the last times I talked to them, and I think it had to do with vacating the trial, and I asked the gal that answered the phone after the victim advocate wasn't in as usual, and which I didn't call up there very much. I didn't bug anybody. I tried to trust them and let them do their job. So don't think that I called a million times and they were trying to get rid of me. I never
even
called.
if you did, that would have been okay.
Well, but I'm just trying to show how much I think worse it is, and you're right, but they make you feel that way. But anyway, so I said, can I please just directly talk to the prosecutor? Can I talk to him? And she said, no. I mean, I repeated, are you really telling me that? I mean, I'm like not allowed to talk to him? And I have to admit, I don't remember her answer, but yes. I mean, I don't remember if she gave me a reason why. And I haven't talked to any of them since. I mean, and I've probably talked to them since this started 4 years ago, the prosecutor 3 times. And that was upon them wanting them to meet with us to question us about stuff. I just made my screen even. Oh no.
I remembered it now. This was what I was going to ask you guys. I wanted to clarify about, because I know that we had a little bit of rebuttal after I made a video, or maybe Catherine, you had posted a few days ago, in terms of someone being like, well, the first initial charge was this, and that's why it was 5,000.
Yeah.
This is what I want to say. The first initial charge, I don't think was molestation. I think it was just porn on a computer, correct?
No. It was level 6. I don't have the charges right in front of me. I wish I did, Brian.
Kate's got the charges, and she's
Okay.
got a little grid up here to help us understand this.
So what? Okay, perfect.
There was
so
3.
I guess I didn't know enough about it, but what I was going to say was like, why weren't they taking Jamie's testimony as a witness to walking in on it and charging him with that? Like,
right.
you know what I mean? But maybe they did. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Right.
I mean, did they? Or
no.
is this?
No.
Because had they done that, then the charge would be. What?
He should have gone to jail that night in August.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure, like, I'm not missing something. It's like how, when people are pushing back on this $5,000 bond, it's like,
yeah.
God, this is molestation. And the guy, he was giving, the other child was giving that judge, he was giving 20,000 full cash for other people that did the same thing, and also reprimanding them in the court.
Right. Right. Yep. And that, backing up to that point real quick, you're not missing anything, but I feel like that for that question, I'd have to give maybe more detail than I should.
There you go.
That's
there
fine.
you go.
That's fine.
There you go.
As far as court stuff. So
here's the charges.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Jamie. That's all. I was like, that had bothered me all day, because I was like, did they not believe the mother?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
So here are all the
I mean, I still think he should have been arrested that night. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, he should have. Oh, absolutely. I'm not arguing that. I was just trying to, because, Childers, or that one guy was trying to act like, well, no, Childers just did what is the basic,
Yeah.
So here in August 16th, Cassie, they said child seduction, guardian, adoptive parent. He was charged on, I don't know why it has 2 lines of the same thing. I'm not an attorney, so I'm not the best. It looks like he's had several other, so he has a history too. So if he has a history in 2018, sexual misconduct with a minor, I mean, why didn't they do something? Look at, he's got some serious issues here.
That's right. And actually, I
what
remember.
Was 2018? What was 2018?
2018. It says 10/13 of 2018, sexual misconduct with a minor, but committed by a person at least 21 years old.
Oh, who's this for?
This is, I guess, Steve.
But who is
I've never seen that.
Who's the survivor of that?
I don't know anything about that.
Wow, Steve, you gross pervert. Sorry, I said F. I'm so sorry.
So, and then in 2019,
maybe that's why Rodney was. Hold on.
In 2019, he had child molesting, fondling, or touching a child under 14. That was in November of 2019. So he had that. So he's got some baggage here. So I don't understand why This isn't like
It
the
is.
first offense.
I
I
don't-
mean,
Thank you,
here's the
Catherine.
thing.
That
If-
really nailed the point of that
Yeah,
5,000 bond
if-
being inappropriate.
if
Go ahead,
Cassie and
Brianna.
I are on the floor,
I mean, how
and
could I
we've
not
got
have known about
nurses-
that?
yeah, if we've got nurses who have stolen narcotics, they don't get to keep the narcotics keys.
You guys are going to have to send
I
me that
mean-
cause number because I don't know anything about that, and I feel
Wow,
like I
you
should.
guys,
do you
look
want
at
to
this.
explain some of this?
The
You guys,
bond,
Jamie is finding this out for the first time tonight. Like, this
Yeah.
is making me so sad. Are you all right,
the,
Jamie?
the
You want
bond,
to take a break?
No,
is
I mean,
ridiculous.
I'm okay, but I'm just thinking because
By the
when
time
you
they
first said it, I'm
issue-
thinking it was before me, but I would have been with him during that time. So how could I not
Right.
have known?
I mean, the barn was maybe being used for alternative purposes and the church.
Maybe.
Well, by the time though that they're going into bond, because when was he offered bond?
2020. Let's see, 2021. It was December
2021.
2021. Yeah.
Right. So you've got all
No,
of those charges on there,
wait a
and
minute,
they're anywhere
December-
from misdemeanors
Yeah.
all the way up through felony 1.
So
I wonder
December
if that's
20
why Rodney, I wonder if that's why and I don't know how I heard this, who told me this, but that Rodney at one point was looking at habitual offender against him. Maybe that's why, but that is really weird if he went to jail and got charged with something that I had no clue about.
Well, he's an elected
That's
official.
how
so
good he is.
Now,
I'm
what
telling-
happened? Did they cover this up from 2018 and 2019? So he finally was arrested in December of 2020, and then he bonded in December of 2020, Kate, and then he posted bond in December of 2020.
Yeah.
That all took place there. But I'm very confused by this whole thing because they're saying there's no more bond. There's I don't
no
know
bond.
what
There's
class
no
guys,
bond.
I think they either know where he's at or he's somewhere very locally under our noses.
Let me tell you something, Cassie. As I was watching this, do you know we only have one elected official who's taken all their properties off that you can't see any of them? Do you know who that is?
Who is it?
Bingo.
Auditor Rick Gardner. And he's
Rick
got
Gardner. Okay, guys, we're gonna have to.
multiple rental properties.
Okay,
Now,
Rick.
why all of
Rick-
a sudden in January are all of his properties missing?
Rick Gardner. You hear that name, people? So Rick Gardner's on the radar and list for a video from me, and also that dirty prosecutor who likes to fire off his firearm anywhere he wants, Mr. Rodney Cummings. And then he's so silly that he wants to talk to the manufacturer and see if the gun was not working. No, sir, you don't safe storage your gun, and you also are a dirty crook.
So
Sorry, guys.
it appears, and that's all we can say, it appears or allegedly, that they really didn't follow the rules with Steve and at your expense, your mental health.
Well, I
your
mean,
safety.
what pedophile or what charges on level 1 felony, level 3 rape, 18 charges. He has 2 victims, 2. And
Wait,
no
can you-
bond. They
He
vacated
He has
bond.
more than 2 because we
weird
found
part-
out he.
Oh, right. I guess I was talking
No,
about this
sorry, I
case,
shouldn't have
but-
interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Well, actually I forget what I was gonna say.
Oh no.
Well,
No,
no
I'm
bond.
sorry.
I know. The Tippecanoe County Prosecutor's Office asked for $30,000 cash bond when they filed all his other charges, the big charges, and that judge granted it. But then it seemed like it was 5 minutes later. It was later, a day or so, whatever. He vacated it, completely vacated it.
So we should try to find. I wish we could have
nobody's gonna-
emails between. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, nobody's going to hunt for him with no bond. I, was contacted by a bounty hunter in the beginning, but I mean, they've got a lot of other, that's how they make their money. I mean, you can't
It's
blame them,
true.
but they
And
know
that's why
nobody's
when you
going to go after him.
And when you assign a low bond, that's why I think that's really important, Jamie. Thank you. That's when we're talking about these officials or people in these positions colluding in allowing him. That's what we're talking about. Is that exactly what you just said? There is no way that he should not have gotten at least in my opinion, a $20,000 cash bond, like 2 other men who I read their cases from. And he also said he denied something, but he denied for those men based on the heinous nature of the offense.
Right.
Like, is it not heinous enough when it's your daughters, Jamie?
Yep.
I am so sorry, Madison County. If it is politicians' daughters who are being abused, is it not heinous and offensive? I just want to be clear on that.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm so angry. I don't mean
to. And this is a guy who's similar and doesn't have as an extensive history, and he got charged with like a huge bond. So this one's an example of the discrepancy.
Well, there was also a rape charge that got $100,000. $100,000 for a rape charge.
Yeah.
And yet you give a $5,000 charge to the or bond to the politician. Like, tell me how you can make it make sense, Indiana, Madison County. You can't.
Not even an ankle
frankly,
bracelet.
Whoever
Not
I heard
even
that
an
guy
ankle
was
bracelet.
talking, it was Gardner or what? Yeah, he does. Gardner, whoever talked to that woman that way, like, that is the epitome of what you guys are dealing with. And
can I say something Gardner real quick?
Yeah,
I have a conspiracy because he was Stephen Sumner's best friend, and he also took all of his property tax records off public record. So I just think that that's a little sketchy.
Super sketch.
Hey,
very sketch. Thank you.
Just a conspiracy.
None. I don't think any of it is it, girl. I mean, I think you know exactly what's going on. You are.
Well, can I back up just a second? When we were
please,
talking
Jamie.
about when I called his bail bondsman and she yelled at me to say, well, he has to work, doesn't he? I was told that, and so she had to have known this. Why else would she have said that? I was told that he was by working, he was flying out of the state for whatever reason for Lykens's. Now, I don't know why they need somebody to travel for them, but that's what I was told. And then she automatically said, well, he's got to work, doesn't she? So she must know that he was out of the state working. And she had to, I found out in 5 minutes if a judge had, signed an order allowing him out. No judge had signed. I mean, they probably would have, depending on what, which one you took it to.
I know, right? But then that didn't happen. Go ahead.
Right. He also supports pedophiles going and working and flying out of state to go work in public. So she supports pedophiles out and about in our public working with people.
Cassie,
sorry, but I don't think pedophiles have a place at all in this world.
I mean, I just think every time that you speak, every time Brianna speaks, she like lays it down just exactly what we need. Thank you.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, she can deny that all she wants, and that's fine, but actions speak louder than words. And I know what happened. I know what she said, and
and we do too, Alice, because receipts, all about that. Remember that? Madison County girls, they know how to collect them.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
As we go, so I sent Kate. I just sent you some things in Messenger on what the charges were.
I sent Kate a picture of Steve Summers' dad. Also.
Oh, well, let's make everybody's face famous.
Yeah.
That's the next phase, right? Let's make these faces famous.
Yeah, let's make them famous. I mean, you want to play? Let's see what we can do.
I mean, I'm working on my famous fame, and I'm happy to bring all of these men along.
Well, what really upsets me the most is these politicians are paying thousands of dollars. This is Steve's dad here. So if anybody is out at Payless and you see him, can you just give him a high five? Say we saw you on the political spotlight. We'd appreciate a shout out.
Yeah, they've chased my kids through the grocery store before.
Oh, he did. I remember you told us that he chased them through the grocery store, which is not a child abuse or anything. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Now, I got this guy from the county who wanted to get on social media, and he wanted to defend Rodney Cummings and Childers. And so I shared with Kate. I don't know. Some of these might be duplicates. Here we go. Here are some of the charges.
So this is what I was talking about when he got on.
Says he's a felony 6. So he falls. Here's what he falls in the box. Listen, if I treated every patient because I got to only check off boxes, I'd have some dead patients.
Very dead patients. I would have some very dead psychiatric patients,
and I'd have some huge malpractice. Huge malpractice.
Catherine, I appreciate that you continue to make metaphors to medicine. That's very helpful for me. And I think it is to the audience because you can really, anyway.
So then, Kate, if you see the other one on there, So in July, there becomes a felony 3. Here we go. This is a felony 6. Then I sent her a picture of a felony 3. Why? And then we went to a felony 1. Why didn't anything change? And here's my question. Every one of these is in Madison County. And Sean Shepard is defending this?
Yeah.
Here's
Right.
Oh, Sean Shepard, that's his name. Yeah, Sean. I was about to say another Steve, but I knew it was an
Sean
S.
Shepard, you can go by all your little boxes and all your little check marks, but I'm going to give you the first clue to all of this. None of this should have been filed in Madison County. That's the biggest problem at all. And you people, and you know what? Anyone who says anything about Judge Nowak tonight, I'm going to get really, really nasty. Okay.
Me too. I'm Team Judge Nowak for making the right decision.
Yeah. He's in a timeout for something, yes, he took ownership for, okay? But on that same token, what about all these other judges and the prosecutor who have allowed this to carry on? Where's their timeout? Where are they getting disciplined for what they've done? Okay?
And
that's right.
With absolutely no answers. There's no answers.
Exactly. And now we got a meeting on the run.
Could you just, maybe they have a good reason for no bond. Could you explain it to me? I mean,
could I ask about the sheriff that liked my post, which was really cute? Because apparently, whatever his name was, it started with an M as a last name.
That is retired Sheriff Scott Mellinger.
Why would he do that? Why would he put himself on my radar if he's part of it? You're dumb, sir. Sorry. No shade. Lots of shade.
Well, listen, because he's a ladies' man, you know.
Ew.
Yeah, he can like the post about the pedophile on the run, but he won't share the post about the pedophile on the run.
Oh, he sure won't. That's right.
And he's got a huge following. Why isn't he's sharing? You know, here's what I'm going to tell you, Cassie. Sheriff Mellinger has been a Democrat all his life. He
I mean, you know, homeboy, I'm a Democrat,
No,
but again,
wait
I understand what you're saying in this situation because when it comes to politics, like that is not okay if you're lying within your party. Is that?
But wait a minute.
Okay.
Whose signs did he have in his yard?
Oh, was it Gardner? Please tell me it was
all Republicans.
Oh, okay.
No. He's a Democrat.
Okay, so wait. So who is a Democrat? The sheriff?
Sheriff Mellinger was a Democrat sheriff and been Democrat.
Oh boy, okay? I am so glad you just told me that.
Here's the thing: run against me, Cassie, and he'll put your sign in his yard too.
Oh, absolutely, because you are the Catherine.
If Catherine doesn't like him, he's got the sign in the yard.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's not cute at all.
No, it gets better, Cassie. Even though we're talking about Sumner's, we got a grant for $900,000 for the health department. And instead of helping with a morgue or doing something to better, the mental health that we've got going on, his wife, who's the health administrator, decides to build a $900,000 pole barn to house an RV. Tell me exactly how that helps the people. And that just happened last year.
That's really, it's just so disgusting. And I do have to say, like,
it's crazy in Madison County.
I mean, as a mental health provider and prescriber, it is really all of this is very troubling. I'm gonna stop at that. I felt like I was going to go on a little bit of a soapbox, but this is Jamie's night.
Yeah, and look at Mellinger. He didn't know how to pay himself while he was sheriff. So what's he do in December, right before he's coming out of there in December of 22? He files a claim against the county for $52,000 of back pay. And you know what? Within 6 weeks, he gets paid.
I'm sure he. Well, because it would not be cute if a sheriff started making noise. They don't want that.
Maybe he should take that $52,000 and start putting billboards up and start some kind of reward to find Sumner.
That is. Thank you. Go ahead, Brianna.
How come nobody said anything about that when they brought up how you asked for money, Catherine, for the hours that you worked?
Well, you know, I can't speak on that. I went on
Catherine sued the county. Well, Scott Mellinger sued the county too. So
I'm on disclosure, so I can't speak on that behalf.
But I hear you. I hear it. Say it again. I didn't hear the last part, Brianna.
It don't make no sense.
It doesn't make sense. I know. And listen, I'll speak on whatever that anybody doesn't want to speak to, but oh my goodness.
You guys can speak on it all you want. Catherine will be fine. So
I hear you. I feel you.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. So now Jamie
No.
sleeps with one eye open. She's made no headway. We've got computers missing. We can't get the police report from the night that she was locked in a room.
Yep.
What is going on in Madison County?
So
No idea.
So are we gonna? This is a great night for me. I'm sorry if I've been out, a little extra. That's baseline for me. But we should do, if possible, a follow up because
Yeah.
I think there are so many.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we could literally, and I'm happy to do that, guys. I'm happy to do that on Say It Out Loud. We'll just weekly.
We
That's what
haven't
it'll be
even
about.
scratched
But we
the
go
surface.
through what? Say that.
We haven't even scratched the surface.
Exactly. And I think if we're going to do that, if we can do it here, or you want to do it on, but we have to keep going with this because I mean, even just talking the four of us tonight, I've learned things that I haven't learned in the group message. Jamie has discovered things. I mean, this is powerful. And Catherine, you are the Catherine because you have been a great moderator with my dysregulation tonight and also bringing the facts and staying on track. And Jamie, just, I mean, bless your whole heart if you're not my girl.
I appreciate you guys more than you know.
And we want to show you before
we became the plague. So yeah.
Yeah, we're going to show you this picture of just how intertwined politics and Steve Sumner are. And so I've asked Kate to pop up a picture here to show if she can put that up there of just how close they spend their holidays together. So hopefully she's got that one and she'll put that one up. And then we'll just let Jamie talk about things that we might leave some people hanging for the next wonderful show we have. Might have to send it to her. Let's see.
Under mom and dad's head.
So, let's put up this picture too. Maybe you can explain this picture, Jamie, real quick. Let me give that to Kate. There's a picture. I'm going to have you explain, and then I'll have you explain who these people are. Okay. So I'm so glad our audience is just so patient with us. And we're amateur hour. Who are these people, Jamie?
So it's kind of small, but that's George Lykens on the left and pedophile on the right, Steve Sumner.
And below it is the agreements of the sale of the church. Did you get any money from that sale?
No, they already had it in his mom and dad's name. So, but he had a sign shop that should have been through the divorce. I got none of that. And I had all kinds of stuff, especially I had several family heirlooms that were up in that building. Yeah. That's taken at George Lykens' house. They had
That's Rodney Cummings, the prosecutor.
Yeah. I don't remember what year that was, but George and Nancy Lykens had I don't know, what do you call it when they're running and they have a little reception or party and raise money or whatever. They had it at their house for him.
So see how great they are. Oh, who's this?
Oh, cute. What a cute little boy picture here. Just love that, guys.
Besties.
That's Rick Gardner
besties.
there.
Who said besties?
The one who hid all his properties.
Oh,
his
and then
is on the run.
Yeah. So
I love it. I love you, girl.
And maybe they were sitting there concocting, like, how am I going to get out of town? That's kind of what it looks like. It's basically like, hey, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, tell us a little bit about the sale of the church. Was that a cash sale? And did you get that cash?
I have no idea what they did with that cash, but I know he was out of town right after that.
Oh, isn't that
I don't
cute?
know. I have no idea. I know that
because you know why? You know why though, Jamie? Because he has to work. You know,
has to work.
You know. Now, George Lykens told me himself that Bobby Lykens bought the back building, and he said he paid quite a bit for it. He said, I bought the church, and he bought it from Wesleyans, because that's who the church was bought from. I didn't know there was still a loan or anything on it. He says he bought it from the Wesleyans. So did he buy it from the Wesleyans? I mean,
So we'll have
I
to
mean,
look it up and look at the deeds, I guess.
Yep.
you know,
That's
that's
what-
like asking, did he molest children before you knew about it? And the answer we found
Yeah,
out tonight is
here
yes.
it is right
Yeah.
here. Here it is right here. I thought he bought it. It says George Lykens bought it. Kate, do you know who sold it?
Is Kate on here? I just got to shout out
Kate
Kate right
is
now because this
always
is incredible with these
here. Yeah,
receipts that you just are bringing up like this, girl.
yeah, Kate is always here.
Oh my gosh, you are awesome.
So it was bought from Lighthouse Baptist and Pilgrim Holiness.
Who's that?
Lighthouse Baptist was him. I don't know what Pilgrim
Yeah,
Holiness
Lapel
is.
One LLC.
I don't. Oh yeah, we know who that Lapel One LLC is.
Tell 'em.
And what I saw said $0.
George Lykens.
George Lykens.
Well, it says $0, but
He told me himself he paid money for it, so it wasn't $0.
Well, not if it's you. I mean, you know, with the Lykens, right? That big farm family in Madison County. I'm going to keep saying their name that owns all this. And now that they pay a lot of money for all their shit, they're in politics. You know, I mean, it's the Lykens he's dealing with. So obviously, I mean, really, obviously is all we have to say when it comes to that last name is how I feel.
You'd be surprised how
comes
many
up a lot.
properties you find on GIS that were sold for $0.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
So, you know, the one thing I want to show you, Cassie, is that the Lykens really have taken this quite lightly. They don't really see the really significance this is my perspective. This is my point of view. They don't really see the dangers of this and what truly has happened here. And I don't know if we have a clip, Kate, of when Jamie encounters George Lykens at the polls as she was working for their. So let's show how the Lykens feel about. I'm trying to find the video clip unless Bree's got it.
It's okay,
and she can send it. And I hate. You know what I hate the most? I'm going to tell you this. What I hate the most is that you have to keep reliving this nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
From a psych perspective, there is nothing more brutal than this.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Honestly, what they're risking?
I'm nothing compared to those kids, though. It's those kids. I mean, I now know, I've heard for so many years they need closure. They need closure. They need to find the body. They need closure. Things like that. I watch crime shows.
And
I never truly knew what that meant until, I'm going to move and I'm going to move on and all that kind of stuff. But I truly understand what closure means now.
Yeah.
I think you have to live it to understand that. Yeah. To feel
and
that.
Bless your heart. And what I would like to say as a professional that specializes in mental health, what they're risking in you guys is, I mean, there's going to be post-traumatic stress, right? We don't want it to turn into a disorder, but they're not even risking that.
They've all been diagnosed with that. We all had that
they are
diagnosis.
risking, but they are, and so they have it. Thank you for sharing. They are risking complex PTSD, chronically. I mean, they're risking this. Not that bothers me because clinically they are risking futures, and I just cannot get down with that. I can't with anyone, but certainly not children who have their whole life ahead of them. I cannot, I think you are so brave and such an amazing woman. You have been so genuine in all of our chats. You've always held these children as the forefront and what the focus is, despite the fact that I'm going hard for you, girl, and that criminal confinement and that abuse. But still, I mean, it's just, I mean, I hope that we can get justice for you, because I know when justice is not served, what that can do to patients. I see it all, I see it. And you deserve that.
Two things. One, I don't want anyone to ever have to go through this again. I mean, it's one thing to go through, walk in on it, all that kind of stuff, but then to have to be, treated like this. My other neighbor came over real early on and he said, Jamie, this is going to be political. And I literally was looking the other way, rolling my eyes. That doesn't really happen. That does not happen. And the other thing I want to say is I can only go by how things appear. if these people that were, looking at all this stuff, if they have an answer, a genuine answer, and want to explain the no bond, the low bond, not caring about the 120,000 flying miles, not caring that he was out of state, all that stuff, then come to me and explain it to me. But until then, I mean, no one will talk to me, and I don't know what else they expect me to do. It's been almost 4 years.
I mean, being silent is being complicit.
Yeah.
That is
really
all.
is.
I mean, that is truly it. That is truly, that is all of it in one nutshell. Yes.
Yes. And so
well, you guys have helped with that. I've been quiet for almost 4 years, 3.5, whatever. I have.
Don't say that. Don't say that. You have not been quiet, because you have been with those children during this time, emotionally holding them down. And there is nothing quiet about that. There is nothing quiet about that. Now, if you've been intimidated by these men who are abusive to the systems that they're in, then in that sense, you've had to quiet down. But Jamie, you have spoken so loud for these children. I just want you to know that I feel that way.
So let's see what your take is on this video, Cassie, after you watch it.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And I'm sorry you have to relive it, Jamie.
No, I've been told by authorities that you guys are helping him, by U.S. Marshal and by state police.
Oh yeah, we're sending money every week.
I'm just.
We always liked Steve. He was friends with.
No, I've been told by authorities that you guys are helping him, by U.S. Marshal and by state police.
Oh yeah, we're sending money every week.
What the? Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Real funny.
Yeah. That's Lykens.
No, stop. Stop. It's not. Stop.
Talking to Jamie at the poll.
Oh my goodness, guys. Come on. Was this sent in the chat? I'm sorry. I mean, maybe you know what? This is great. I'm glad
we got a lot of things in the chat
to me live, because I am just like, it's over. The Lykens, hey guys, hey little farm family. Let me just tell you this. I am now on to you and that name. I am so disgusted. This is what I also wanted to mention. I'm really glad you played that video, because it is now reminding me. Madison County and all of the people, and I have names. Jamie has given me names, each and every one of you, who has shamed these victims, who has said to her, or in, without actually saying, that you don't believe her daughter, that you don't believe her, that you do believe that Steve Sumner is innocent. All of that is absolutely disgusting, and all of your names are here with me in my head, and I don't play with people that abuse survivors or victims. I don't play, including you, Mr. Lykens, and et cetera, all down your family lines, sir.
You know what's so interesting is that the health administrator and I have gone round and around a number of times. And she had sent me a message, and she said to me, you want to talk about mental health? You are the problem with mental health, because of all the things you post. That is bullying. That is what is going wrong with this county. And because you're speaking up, that's what's made this so bad. Now, this is your health administrator. Your health.
Oh, I'm sure.
I can't
She's
even
connected to like what? The Gardners and the Lykens, right? Is she connected to them? Because that's disgusting.
Yes. I can't even imagine what you've been through, Jamie. For her to tell me about mental health, she's not a clinician. No. She doesn't know. I'll tell you about mental health. Mental health is taking $900,000 and building a pole barn instead of investing it into real care. That's what the problem is in this town.
Listen, I'm just going to say this, and because I cannot talk about necessarily, anything but this. What I have seen from the behavior of these people, particularly with these videos tonight, there are personality disorders going on, and I'm not going to diagnose people that I have not seen as patients, but I can just tell that they're
sociopaths. They're narcissistic sociopaths. I'm going to call it. I've been dealing with these people.
The Catherine has spoken. Yes, but seriously, when you are at a level that you are willing to conspire and collude because there's money involved, and you are sick. You are. And I don't know how else to say it nicely. And I know people don't believe me because I'm like, wild. I am also a clinician, and I am very good at my job. And I am telling you, it is abnormal for people to collude in grand schemes like this when it has to do with child sexual abuse. It is abnormal. All of you MFers, Lykens, and all are like, it's not normal social behavior.
Right?
I'm not going to diagnose you, but that is not normal social behavior. It's groupthink, it's echo chamber, and it's politics, and it's gross, and it's harming people.
I mean, Jamie, you know, like all of us, people tend to, and again, we're just speculating. We're not attorneys. We don't know everything, but like we would tell our kids, birds of a feather flock together.
That's what I mean. I'm pretty old.
I'm
That's what
trying
I've
to get
always
real
seen in my life.
specific here.
That's what I grew up here. You know, yeah, that's typically how it is.
Just saying. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just our point of view. So for you people who are watching, this is just our point of view.
Well, that's
And
what I'm
for
saying.
people,
All we can go by is what we see. And
I
no one's stepping up to say any different. I've asked for almost 4 years, tried to get answers, and it's I mean, I've got a lot of proof on all that. And I mean, no answers. Well, why no bond? Why? I mean, no one will talk to me or give me answers. None.
So
and I want to,
if you
So
could
if
say
they want to give me
anything,
answers and set me straight, then do that.
and
But
multiple times tonight, Jamie, you have, when you did not know, this is what I want to note to the viewers. When you did not know the answer, you even rolled us back and were like, well, I can't speak. I mean, you are not saying things that you don't know to be true or is your testimony. And
I don't have any reason to do that.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
I don't have any reason to do that. And I don't even want to be here.
I know.
But if I don't want to do this. But if I don't speak out for those kids, well, nobody else is going to. We lost everyone through this. We lost everyone. It's me and my kids, and I'm going to fight for them. So,
and we're going to fight for you.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's all we can do at this point. Never underestimate what a small group of concerned citizens can do. Never.
Yep.
And quite honestly, and if this is taken the wrong way, it should not be taken the wrong way. If the truth will kill them, then let them die.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true.
But I don't mean that in like literally killing someone. I'm just saying, the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. That meme that was used for our whole thing tonight with me juggling those balls.
Yeah.
This is because I love Margaret.
Good.
Right? We love Margaret Mead. The meme was used because that was used against me as an attack for my political campaign.
Yeah, it sure was.
It was full of lies.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show these boys, because you're certainly not men, how many balls not only can I juggle, but how many I can bust.
Woo! Oh my gosh, that was from the Catherine, guys. If you didn't know, that was from the
and I'm going to keep coming. And like Christopher Bilbrey said on this show, you better hope Catherine wins the election, because if she doesn't, she's going to be a lot more dangerous.
I am going to tell you guys.
You freed up a lot of my time campaigning. I'm just going to hammer down on this.
Catherine messaged me after losing the campaign and literally said this. She's like,
this is Russell.
I am a little relieved and excited because now I have all this time for this. So you really did F her. I know you did F her. I mean, I speculate you guys just very clearly made sure she did not win. I don't know how. I can't. But I'm going to speculate that was a full-on make sure the Catherine does not get in. But what you really did is you should have given her that position, guys, because then she would have done really great at that job and wouldn't have time for you. But now she does, and she reached out to the HBIC of the Find Out. And now I've made new friends like Brianna and Jamie, and it's over. It's all the way over, because guess what? Let me just tell your friends this, Lykens and all those boys. I know some influencers on TikTok who have over 6 million followers. So if I can truly gain their attention, which I'm going to try by multiple avenues through other influencers I know, and they put that mother picture out, it's going to be a problem for you, Steve.
Well, I want to read this to you, and whoever wants to answer it, can you put that back up, Kate? I want to read to you what Joe Black put up what Joe Black just wrote. I want to read this. Do you think the judge is giving out low/no bond and light sentences because they are thinking if they get caught doing the same thing, they would want similar treatment. Now we're just speculating. I'm just reading a
Joe
question.
Black.
I'm just
100%.
I'm
Joe
just
Black.
reading a
Joe
question.
Black.
Yeah, nobody is. We're just asking a question.
We're asking a question, but I'm going to go ahead and speculate that that's exactly a great point and very likely part of it. I mean, speculation only.
Speculation. So the feather can flock together, you know. Yep. And this is the thing that just infuriated me. If you think for 1 minute, I am going to allow you to be pushed down because you're the victim and they're going to punish you. Oh, I'm not having that.
Oh, I'm not having it either. I'm not.
And I know.
I clinically deal with patients all the time that don't. Yeah, it's not okay. It's not going to happen. Definitely not under the two of our professional clinical watches, but definitely not with the rest of these advocates in this group. You guys are amazing.
Right. And I want to be very clear on this podcast because I know there's a lot of people watching this. There is a retired nurse who is recently retired, who was a sane nurse, who was over at Community. And I will not mention your name, but I want you to know you are fully on my radar.
Oh my gosh, on my radar too, because we talked about this today, right?
So, nope, this is another one. And I just want you to know, I read everything you're posting and people are sending me plenty of pictures. So don't,
I need to pop off for just a minute. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay.
But if you want to be a sane nurse, and even though you're retired, your duty is more to her than it will ever be to Russ Willis. And you're all over his page defending him. You're all over his page saying how wonderful he is and how crazy and kooky we are. Okay, I'll remember that. Because clearly you used your sane training and what you've developed at Community only as a title and to promote yourself within the community. And it is disgusting and foul.
It's disgusting when people do that. Absolutely. Thank you.
I am sane trained. So I am not, I'm a clinical nurse specialist in women child. So
are you? I didn't know women child. That's amazing.
Yeah, so,
I love women's health.
Yeah. So that's my master's. And then my post grad is family nurse practitioner. And then my doctor. So I have both the NP and the clinical nurse specialist.
Wow. I mean, the Catherine, you guys, come on. I'm not even trying to blow up your horn, but like,
most advanced practice nurses just have one or the other. They don't have both.
Yes. No.
And that's, but that's the whole thing that I'm sitting here and I'm furious that you would think these nurses would be just all over this.
They should.
Russ Willis's daughter is a nurse.
Ew.
I am floored by all of this. And then
has she been put, but wait, let's be fair to her. Has she been put on?
Nope. She doesn't. The other daughter came to the surface, but she has not, that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right. So listen, that one, we'll just hold on to her. But
maybe she is disgusted with it.
I mean, we should. I think we might need to reach out to her because, as professional nurses, I think we can both speak to this. It's unsettling. It, quite frankly, for lack of a better term, does not make sense to us when we see other professionals in our, in our line of work, that when there are situations that are very clear, like what we presented, that they would not fall on the side of the victim in justice. Is that?
Well, it is. And here's the crazy thing. Like Nicole Schuyler, who just put up her thing a little bit ago. Stephanie Mellinger lost 120,000 needles when she was doing the needle exchange program. What does she get? What does she get from that, Cassie? She gets promoted to the health administrator.
What? I'm sorry. She what?
She lost 120,000 dirty needles. Instead of getting fired, she got promoted as the health administrator.
I am just okay.
But we could do things all night. We could be here all night, Cassie. And
this is why I'm saying go ahead.
Sorry. And we wonder why Madison County has the drug problems that it has.
Oh, wow.
And I'm so glad that I have another healthcare person that's with me, because it was so funny in one of the last meetings, Cassie. She gets up, she gets to talk, because you're not allowed to talk in these meetings anymore. And she says, and if any of you think you can do it better than me, you can come in up here and speak. And I'm thinking, let me up at that podium. Give me the health department. I'm all over.
Honey.
I can promise I wouldn't know 120K dirty needles.
Yeah, you know what, sweet girl? We would do it way better, and
yeah.
possibly about like lots of thousands of other people that don't even have
Now-
the degree would do it better than you.
Let me ask you this, Cassie. The health department is a public servant.
Right.
Okay. Well, guess what? Because they don't like my feedback on what they're doing incorrectly, she has shut down comments.
She's so obnoxious.
How
Listen,
can you say you're a public service? How can you just show up? Hey, here, Cassie, let me tell you something. If you're
I
having
don't
a
even know
birthday,
what to do but laugh
hey,
at this dummy.
if you're having a birthday, she opens up the comments. That is illegal to do. You cannot open and close. And you're a government agency receiving grant money.
Honey, get the rules down before you play the game, boo.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So it's
that
great.
nurse, oh my gosh. Okay, so I have a lot of connections at community health, and I am not in the business of trying to take anyone's career for them, but I will definitely put out all kinds of information so they can look out and make sure that her patients are being treated like they should be. And I am very, Catherine, I just want to be very serious right now. What I just said, I am dead ass serious, because that I will make a call. I will make sure your sane patients are being treated okay, because it is absolutely problematic and concerning to me as a provider and also as a mental health provider that you would think it all okay to play both sides of this field. Don't play both sides. Don't do it, because we caught you in it.
Well, and I know we're off on another subject, but it's interesting because they just had this huge write-up in the paper about she's got these outreach people, and they're going to the courts, and these people who are in trouble, they're trying to connect with them. If they need help, they're going to reach out to them right when they're getting their sentence. Well, most people, when they're getting their sentences, their minds aren't really there, right? I mean,
nope.
So I wrote a response on the Herald Bulletin, and I said, how about taking that outreach program and being out at Alcoholic Anonymous, Narcotic Anonymous, out by the Christian Center, out by all these other places. And as a matter of fact,
in the public, in the actual public, not in the court systems where these people are terrified, anxious, whatever. It's not after the sentencing that you can reach them.
And here's the thing. The big thing is that they just want to work 8 to 4. I said, drug addiction goes on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They spent another $500,000 to get an RV on grant money. So now we've spent $1.4 million on an RV and a pole barn.
But so is the RV a traveling station that goes out with Narcan and also vaccines?
Ask me how many patients they generally see.
What?
Anywhere from 0 to 5.
Jeez, you're not. No, I cannot.
Hey,
I cannot. Because you know what? Indianapolis could really use that vehicle down there, guys. I work with marginalized populations. Those are my people. I did homeless healthcare in New York City. That was where I started my career. Madison County. You want to buy an RV that does some health stuff? Get it to where the people need it, because you're not capturing it in Madison County, despite all these wild rates.
If it's a fair or something, then they see more, because they're at a fair nice. But here's the great thing, Cassie. If I put up a sign that says the RV is going to go in this part of or Marion County or Madison County at this time, how can I actually message on Facebook saying, how can I get there? What do I need? Are you guys still there right now? I can't. You can't even comment on when they tell you where they're going to be somewhere.
Wow.
This blows my mind.
Yeah,
now, here's the thing. I know you guys will listen, because next week, I bet the comments are open for people to actually be able to ask for the RV. And for me, that's what's important. The people have access. So I don't really, for me, I'm grateful that you have watched my podcast and that you're going to open up comments so people can have access to your RV. I'm grateful for that.
Dude, can I just talk about Joe Black here? Just
hey, we got some great followers on here.
8 to 4. We're like 8:30 to 3:30 with a 2-hour lunch break. Dude,
and he is spot on. This is spot on. Let me tell you how many times I've missed lunch. How many times I never got a lunch. How many times a 12-hour shift turned into an 18-hour shift.
First of all, homeless healthcare, again, like drug addiction, certainly you don't get breaks. You just can, come and
Listen to this. Nicole Schuyler's love is the homeless. She eats, lives, breathes, and dies for it, okay? But who did they remove? Who will they not let have any access? Who will they not let penetrate anything into that? Nicole.
Okay, so now we're going to have a whole episode on this because that's my girl now, and I'm very angry.
Yeah. So we could go on, Jamie was great to come on. And that's the thing. I know Christopher Bilby's watching this. He's going to have to decide because there's so much passion all over the place.
Christopher,
here.
I will take it on to say it out loud every week, although I don't think I have the reach that you guys do, but I am happy to take this over, and I encourage you, sir, to have this back, follow up, honestly, because
and so that's the whole thing. There's just so much going on in Madison County. You just can't even begin to know. I know some people are asking for some updates. We're going to give you some updates. So we have 112 precincts in Madison County, but for whatever reason, we only had 111. Russ keeps jacking with these. I am fully aware that Russ sent out that you did to precinct committeemen who are elected, you do not have to nominate your vice PC. According to the rule books, you have 30 days to do that. That deadline ended on Thursday. If you did not assign a vice PC in your precinct, Russ Willis now has full authority, and you don't.
Great, Russ. You're my next video, Russ.
Yeah, there's only a handful. If any of you are in that situation and you were emailed this instructions on email, please send it to me. Please send it, because this is election tampering. This is election violations. You've got to send me this because they are misleading the public. And I found out today that Kyle Hupfer, the ex-GOP, was telling the same thing to people in Madison County. This is a problem. And so if this is truly happening, I know people are afraid to go against any of these people. I get it. Kyle's an attorney, but the reality is, people, nothing will change until we speak and stand together. This is not just in Madison County. This is all over the country. And if we can't clean up our own backyard, we cannot clean up a nation. So those are the kind of things. I don't know, Kate, if we've missed some people who have had some very great comments tonight. If we have, if you pop them up, we'll talk about them. Hopefully, I can't really see the things, but usually Alva's on here with great information. Stumblefoot's on here with great information. Of course, all the Madison County gals know they're all on here. Nicole, Shelley, Cindy.
Hey, girls! Those are all the girls.
We're growing, and that's what's important. We are growing, and we are finding our footing, and we will get there.
And I would like to also say, just quickly, and I'm sorry to take it a little bit to my county. First of all, thank you guys. I'm totally passionate about this, ready to do all of it. But you have also inspired. I mean, I have stuff on Hamilton County too, and I can say that you have inspired some of my sources in Hamilton County to be ready and more bold in their take on all the evidence that they have with our prosecutors and our judges and our police in Noblesville. So I'm saying that because they have wanted me to pass that on, and I think it's really important. I'm so proud of us as women, but what's really powerful is that when we start to talk and we start to say things that are uncomfortable or people don't like, what that does for other marginalized people or people that are struggling or victims at the time or survivors is it gives them a voice. It allows them to feel like they too, right, can speak up. And so I just want to thank you for that, Catherine. Like it is, and I know that doing the same thing you do in a different way, that you get a lot of you get a lot of feedback, and some of it's negative, but it's important for us, particularly as women, to continue to do this so that all women can feel comfortable, or hopefully,
And I'll tell you, Bree's a perfect example. So anybody who's watching this, if you reach out to Cassie, if you reach out to me, if you reach out to Bree, when Bree first came on this show, she didn't want her face on this. She only wanted to do the voice, which was fine. Yeah, if you are out there and you are watching, if you contact any of us, we are happy to protect your identity, but we're also very happy to help guide you to the other side. You are not to be made to feel that you're in the wrong here. We will help.
We will help, and we will help whether you are a woman, which is the majority of people that we're helping, and girls, and we will help if you're not, and we will help if you're Republican or a Democrat or whatever. Like this, it's not okay when other humans treat humans like this, and it happens in all political parties, and we're identifying it here, and it's something that we can't let go. And it's not gonna, and just shout out to all the Hamilton County boys, because I know you're watching this in the government and the police. Like it's coming to you guys. Like look at these women. Like look at what they're doing. So just know it's coming to you, boys. Okay.
And that's the whole thing. And I want to explain to those viewers who are not our fans, who are watching, we do appreciate your viewing. But I want you to understand is you can call me kooky. You can call me angry. You can call me crazy. You can call me all the words that you want. But I'm going to explain things that's going to wrap it all up for you. This is passion. You can't kill that. You can kill crazy. You can medicate it. You can kill angry. You can medicate it. But you can never medicate passion. The only thing you can do with passion is fuel it. And you guys are doing a great job at just igniting this and throwing kerosene on it, because I'm not laying down, and this passion is only going to get bigger, more contagious, and we're going to come looking for you.
Yep. And I am going to go ahead, and last thing I'm going to say, and then I will sign off. I am going for some big influencers, guys, with my famous fame. I mean, I'm talking millions of viewers that they have. So I will be going hard soon. And if anyone in Madison County is not taking the Catherine and the HBIC to find out, and Brianna, seriously, you should be. You truly should be, because I will be harassing these influencers until that happens. Thank you.
Yep. So everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. The comments have been great. I'm sure Cassie and Bree and I will go back and read through those and comment, and yes. Jamie may too. And so don't think that we're not going to address you. We will address you as we look through those, but we really appreciate you taking your Friday night on a summer night, spending it with us. And from all of us, let's make Steve Sumner famous.
Yep.
So everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back soon.
Bye.
All right. Hey, thanks to Christopher Bilbrey, of course. Thank you to the great Kate for letting all this happen.
And don't forget that tomorrow, Christopher will be continuing his series at that one time at Dan Camp, going live first thing in the morning. Maybe he can get into the meeting tomorrow morning. Hopefully they've handled all their executive business that they needed to, so we can see what it is that Mayor Dan is planning with his department heads. So keep an eye on that. Make sure you have your notifications on.
See how that worked then? Well, we know Christopher's coming, so we're going to just have all executive meetings. Now, do you have to give some notification to those meetings?
48 hours.
Was it posted that they were in executive session 48 hours ago?
Oh no, they're posted as public meetings, interestingly enough.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to kind of point that out. Christopher, we're sorry we missed you tonight, but let me tell you something. We got you covered. We're pointing out the good stuff for you. And one day at band camp, we probably did some stupid things like this too. I don't know.
I know I did.
So, I hopefully we made Christopher proud tonight. And I can't thank all the viewers enough for tuning in tonight and listening to this. And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah. Keep standing up against corruption. Keep speaking out.
Yep. Good luck to everybody. Have a great weekend.
Good night, everyone.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!